right, everybody, welcome to another edition number three of the Shawn-Zilla Art Show with your artist, Sean Howe, and me, who just rambles on. And today we are doing something a little special from the sad passing of Frank Thorne, legendary Red Sonja artist. Sean is going to do his very first Red Sonja piece. Won't that be fun?
Well, let's hope.
Beasts of the sea, the killer.
I figured I'd give you like a little Sonja inspiration. I made sure to kill the audio because, you know, like, you've been banned in these following countries.
Yeah. It's gorgeous stuff, man. I don't know why I've never drawn her before because I have an unnatural obsession with redheads, and
you and me both.
I mean, everybody does. You know,
Yeah.
there's people who admit it freely, and then there's the people that just lie about it. But and I mean, God, man, growing up on Conan and Red Sonja, hell, I even watched the Bridget Nielsen movie and dug it.
Yeah. And
Especially
now, yeah, I know. And now we see Bridget Nielsen, and we're like, ugh, what in the hell? Pops,
now she looks.
what's going on?
Is Pops with us?
Yep, there he is, right there.
What's up, Pops?
There's like 4 other art shows on right now.
I know, man.
It's like everybody with a camera.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's the future.
You know, but not everybody's tagging like, you know, a handful of the small press when we go live every time. So
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm good with our chances.
yeah, I like them.
Yeah. So, how you been, man?
I've been pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm looking. Well, I found my old marble, not my old '90s marble card set, and because those cards are blowing up, I put them up for sale, and nobody touched them on my personal page, and so I went and listed them on a friend's page, and I met this guy through another guy that Mario Spencer is retired military. I'm not sure if he's retired disabled military, but I met him through my friend Sarge, who does a like a comic book auction every week on Facebook, and he's disabled, retired Air Force. Which ties into the first guy that tied me into that was my buddy Chief, just retired from like 30 plus years in the Navy. Luckily, his last station was Pearl, and he retired and bought a house in friggin' Hawaii, the lucky frick.
Yeah.
But
Ain't that so good?
But we're both like huge Batman fans and everything, so we've been buddies ever since we met, like an auction of a store that was kind of running like some pretty shady practices, and we no longer buy from them. But I put up the full set of cards. Started at like $50, and somebody, you know, and like a 48-hour auction ends like Friday night at 9, and somebody already hit me up with the 50, and some other guys mentioned, although, what condition are the cards in? I go, well, I opened the cards, put them back in the packs, took like a big box of marble cards home, put a set together, and I put them in the sleeves and put them in a binder. I think they're in like, fantastic shape. So I would say they're, between very fine to near mint. So and then I told the same guy, I go, well, if this auction hits $100, I will throw in my holograms. Do you have them all? No, I'm missing one. I think the one I'm missing is the one that everybody wants, which is the Venom one. But I've got the other four. So I'm like, if it hits $100, I will be glad, because I couldn't get 2 cents in a gum wrapper for these things like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, and I of course have all kinds of art cards and everything. And I'm like, and I've got like some, really cool stuff, but some of the really cool stuff I can't hang up because I have a teenage daughter.
True.
I
run into that a lot too.
Yeah. I mean, I can't hang up, Limsner's Sinful Susie portfolio because, well, that kinky bastard.
That might cause issues. Yeah. No, I completely get it, man. I mean, I've got a 13-year-old son and a 7-year-old son. I've started putting up a little sign that says, hey, working on stuff you don't want to see, so don't come into the studio. And of course, they don't see the sign sometimes, and they're like, oh, it's like, man, just shut up. If you like eating, let me draw.
I'd be more worried about the 13-year-old. Ooh, what you got?
Yeah. He just gives me a bunch of crap over it. He's like, oh, okay, pencil whore. I'm like, yeah, I know. But what are you going to do, right? I mean, there's worse things to get paid to do.
Yep. I think we've done those too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I was like overtired and depressed the other day. So I think you saw my post where I got myself some some toy therapy. That's right. I cracked open like 4 more cases of toys. And I'm just like, oh man, I have like so much shit. It is ridiculous. I almost need to have like a wall, a slat wall with, the metal, pegboard to, installed on like one of the big high walls that doesn't have a window on it, and just be like, okay, this is my toy wall.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah, it's like, if you see something you like, let me know and I'll tell you whether I'll sell it to you or not.
Yeah, make the pop-up toy store.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. I bought a few goodies this week. I finally got me a damn Snake Eyes from the G.I. Joe classified set.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I got Cobra Commander. I found him out in the wild. Didn't even really look at the package though. So when I get it home and I open them up and put them up in this little cabinet I've got, but I noticed he's missing his sword, and he's got like a little saber.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like some asshole decided to
steal the sword.
Yeah, and I really should have seen it because they cut into the packaging to get it out.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, I found I have a couple of these DC Direct first appearance figures, and I found my first appearance in Nightwing, and of course it's my favorite version of Nightwing with the high disco collar. This is still the coolest looking costume he had.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't give a what anybody says. And then I didn't realize it, but it comes with a mini version of Tales of the Teen Titans 44, third part of the Judas contract, where he actually donned the costume for the first time.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, I have not come across my Titans, and I'm like digging through boxes. I found the first 3 original issues of Cyber Frog. What else did I find? They're right over there. I'm just too lazy to roll over. I think I found all of the black, white, and red Devil by the Deed, like regular comic size ones for Hunter Rose Grendel. I was like, why do I have so many of these? And I'm like, oh, because the actual book was like a graphic novel, and then when they put it back, when they put it into comic book form, they broke it up into like 4 issues so they could know about it.
I had completely forgotten about Matt Wagner's Grendel. I loved that shit growing up. And, when you mentioned it, I think you mentioned it last week, I was like, God, man, I just want to go back and read all that shit.
I have a big fat paperback omnibus, but Dark Horse makes their omnibuses like almost like half size. So it's like you're gonna make these hard, but the hardcovers are like normal size comic books. So I've actually got a hardcover Grendel. It's volume 1, and it's the old Comico stuff. But I found like about 5 issues of early Billy Tucci stuff. So I've got She number 1, 5, 7. I think like the She and Angelina crossover, number 1. Tomo 0.
I've got the She Daredevil crossover. I want to say I'd have to double check it. I think that there was a Cyblade and She crossover.
Mm-hmm.
I've got it. I loved She.
Yeah, like all my copies over there are like all the old Crusade comics.
Wow. Yeah, I've got She 1. I think I've got 1 through 5. And if I'm not mistaken, 5, I loved the cover on it just because it was her looking over her shoulder and she had the death tattoo on her shoulder. Love that shit.
I've got what else did I find? Oh, I found I think the first Chastity miniseries from Chaos.
Okay.
And years ago, I had bought like a set of like 3 vinyl Smiley the Psychotic button stickers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was showing it off one day, and Pops got all excited. So I sent Pops that and like a mini print that was painted by an artist that does like he's got like this weird eclectic style. And it was a Superman painting, but Pops is convinced that it's Bizarro because he looks so friggin' weird. I'm like, no, that's actually Superman, but I thought it'd be like something cool and different. You can slap it on a magnet and put it up on the fridge for the kids or something.
I was going to ask you something, because you've got a lot of the old McFarlane toys. There's 2 things I'm looking for from old McFarlane stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for turn this around where you can see my awesomeness more. I'm looking for the Conan set. Not even the set, really. I just want the Conan figure because my ex-brother-in-law bought me one for Christmas and it got destroyed. So it's like, okay, he's sitting in the throne. He's got like the lion's head on the throne and stuff.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
I never got that. Those new Conan figures that came out, they're like expensive as hell, but they're like, oh my God, the detail on them.
Yeah. And then he did. You remember J. Scott Campbell's Danger Girl?
Yeah.
He did a set of those figures, and I had the Natalia Castle figure. It was just, I had opened it up and put it on my shelf because, I mean, who doesn't like a Russian blonde with knives? And yeah, I don't know whatever happened to it, so I'm just kind of like, well, fuck.
You used to have the statue of her coming like out of like the Snake Temple.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
But that was sold long ago, I believe.
I'm just playing around with this armor, man. I don't know why it's taking me so long to draw her because she's so much fun to play with.
We don't have your drawing cam on.
What the
fuck?
Yeah. Son of bitch, I've been canceled. Suddenly I'm Pepe Le Pew.
What imaginary character will we cancel next?
Right.
A friend of mine put up, he made up like this like fake CNN news story with like Pepe over the TV screen and like a fake news ribbon down the bottom, and he put all that stuff in. Pepe Le Pew today has been brought up on 150 sexual harassment charges. I sent him a message. I go, yeah, but he's a registered Democrat. They just dismissed all the charges. And then I had to take that down because it was causing him problems.
Yeah. But yes.
There's nothing there.
It's mother. Why, God? Why hast thou forsaken me? Okay. Good.
There we go.
All right, cool. Now let's try to put it in the handy dandy case. Okay.
And see if it stays on.
Let's see if it stays on. How about now? Are we still good?
It's frozen.
Motherfucker.
It's a bright white light and your finger.
Well.
Okay. Now we have visual again. So my friend that owns the LCS is a bit of an artist himself, and he used to do the grease paintings in the windows of like the comic book characters.
Oh yeah.
And then one year he decided there were like insurance companies on both sides of us, and they were always complaining about the comic shop.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, shouldn't you be complaining about like the pawn shop on the corner? They bring a lot more dregs of humanity around selling stuff that they stole out of somebody's house than the comic shop with a bunch of people that are employed because they're spending money.
Right.
And then we were also surrounded by senior high rises, and he drew out on paper with the overhead projector and to trace out like the actual, the size.
Mm-hmm.
And then he drew in like all the details on his drawing desk, and then hung up like all this like huge paper he taped together and did the outline trace and everything. And at one point he goes, well, I should probably draw her armor on her first before all the old ladies start complaining. And it was like 30 seconds into it, and they were all there, practically beating him up with their umbrellas on a sunny day. And he's like, I'm trying to figure out how I want to draw the armor. And he's like, I got it. I'm just going to draw a whole bunch of grapes.
A whole bunch of grapes?
He drew it like grapes, but, with a certain shape, and then went back and, kind of like did like finishing work on it. So it would look more like the 80s armor that she wore.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't give her much credit for, defensibility with that armor. But
yeah, I know, right?
I mean, definitely give her some points for distraction. It wouldn't be a Shawn drawing if the hair didn't come down ridiculously long. It's like McFarlane with a cape.
Oh, no shit, huh?
Yeah. So, you don't know anybody's got any of the Danger Girl toys, do you?
Not off the top of my head, but I can ask around.
Okay, cool. I need to get with you about that crow.
Oh yeah.
If you're still into it. If you're still into that deal.
Oh yeah.
Hey man,
I'm so into that deal. I almost asked how many like rechargeable extra battery packs I could get for my wheelchair, and just see if I could make it all the way there, like on 3 charges or something.
Oh man.
So I said, starting bid was like $50 on that card set. So one guy like right out of the gate comes 50, and then a couple minutes ago another guy bids 51.
I mean, it'll work. It's more.
Yeah. I think I probably spent like $60 on those 90 marbles cards, because we were just buying like full boxes.
Yeah.
And at one point, I think we found like a sports card shop that bought them, and none of their customers wanted them, and they bought them because there was they saw like an article that those cards were like super hot, and there were holograms that they didn't originally talk about and everything, and everybody was like buying up boxes for the holograms, and none of their customers wanted to hear it. It's not baseball cards. What the fuck? Hey. So they mocked him down. My friend Jason goes, dude, you know that deli my mom goes to, and in this town? I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, across the street in the plaza, there's like a sports card store, and I just walked in to see if they had anything. I go, besides sports cards? He's like, yeah. And they didn't have any game cards or anything, but they had boxes of those marble cards you guys are opening up at the shop. How much? He goes, $10 a box. They were supposed to be going for like, $29 a box. I'm like, $10 a box. I ran there with like a $50 bill and bought them all up.
Excuse me, COVID. Anyway,
COVID.
I'm just
COVID.
COVID. Yeah, man, my first set of those, the first series, my dad got me a box of the packs, and I just opened up the packs and put it together that way. And my grandfather actually helped me out with the holograms because he went to a couple of shows with my dad, and I was like, "Hey, your son collects these," and he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, well, let's get him some of these holograms," because they, that was really about the first set that had those. So, they were pretty cool.
Yeah, really, they were, and they've got that. It's got that, like, the last card of the set is that hybrid Stan Lee with him as like all the heroes, and it's like a different montage going all the way around.
Yeah.
And that is like the big card from this set. I go, why? I go, imagine if I had actually convinced myself that I should stand in line for 3 hours, like, 10 years ago, and, dish out $150 and have him sign that card.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I could, because right now that card's going anywhere from like $20 to $50 by itself.
The Mr. Marvel card.
Yeah. And I'm just like, well, I know plenty of people with printers. I'll be like, go online and find a high-res copy of that and just print it out like onto like a regular sheet of paper and throw it in like one of the dollar store frames for me, would you? Because, I'm fine with that stuff.
I got you. I'll help you out. I did a Stan Lee a couple of years ago, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Well, I grew up idolizing him because,
well, Excelsior.
Exactly. I mean, we wouldn't have any of the characters we have now without him. And I always trip out when I read people's comments, he was a bastard, he messed up, Jack Kirby, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I'm sure there's something to that, but at this point, who cares?
There's all kinds of like, different stories and stuff. And it's like, but you know what? In the end, with a bunch of perseverance and stuff, there's, Bill Finger finally got his credits in the Batman book, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And speaking of Batman, today, Bat in the Sun released the newest mini movie that they made through crowdfunding, and it's got Aaron Shinoki. He should be hired to play Joker for the Batman series on HBO Max.
I agree. And I've been watching Superpower Beatdown.
Oh, yeah.
For years. Because, you see that kind of shit all the time, Death Battle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's always got just, third grade level production value. But Superpower Beatdown is incredible.
Oh, yeah. It's just like, dude, I don't even know how you did this stuff. I can't even imagine, how many years it took you to make that costume, because it came out, so incredible.
The fight where he plays the Joker, I don't know who he has playing Harley Quinn, but it's Joker and Harley versus Domino and Deadpool. Oh man, that's just pure entertainment. It's great.
I don't know if I saw that one. I saw the Kevin Porter, who plays Batman a lot for him and plays Batman in this movie. He played Negan, and Negan went up against Joker.
Yeah, that was great. The Batman versus Deadpool was great.
Oh yeah, and the Wolverine ones.
Wolverine versus Predator.
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah, Wolverine versus Wonder Woman was great.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch the alternate one, it's got a lot of it's got a big '90s X-Men thing, like just referencing the cartoon, which was great.
I loved the Batman versus Darth Vader one though.
Oh yeah. Even Darth Vader versus Gandalf.
Oh, I didn't see that one yet.
Yeah. Winter Soldier versus Nightwing was good.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think that wrestler John Morrison plays Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Because they did that whole Valiant thing, Ninjak versus the Valiant universe, and Mr. Power Ranger there,
Jason David Frank.
Yeah, he played Bloodshot, and at least he looked the part of Bloodshot, opposed to little Mr. Baldy there.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Hey man, he lives his life a quarter mile at a time. You leave him alone.
And Morrison played Eternal Warrior in that one. Kevin Porter played Armstrong, and they had this other little dude playing Archer. And the costumes were cool, and it was a fun thing, but they keep taking it down from like YouTube, and I'm like, dude, what the hell?
Well, that was a good, or something I was thinking of is like, he makes this Batman movie. What does DC say about that?
I don't know. He puts a thing up, that he doesn't own this, and all characters are copyrighted DC Comics, Warner Brothers, blah 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 blah. But he's always doing Batman stuff. So
yeah, I mean, honestly, he kind of shows out the DC universe with his Wonder Woman from Wonder Woman versus Wolverine was a hell of a lot better than Gal Gadot, and I don't hate her as Wonder Woman. I think she's all right. It's just,
Yeah. Everybody, a bunch of my friends got, were like at one of the shows, and they were talking, way pre, when they were just starting to do like, pre-production on 1984, and before we knew it was going to be complete garbage, and before we could, throw it up in the blue check mark spaces on Twitter that was screaming, you just don't understand the movie. I go, oh, you mean the part where Wonder Woman thinks this other guy is her boyfriend and rapes him?
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't happen. I go, yeah, it does. Go watch it again.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. They were talking, it's like, they're like, well, Gal Gadot makes a great Wonder Woman. I go, yeah, but she's no Linda Carter.
No.
But that's so 70s. I go, so am I.
Exactly. There is nothing wrong with the Linda Carter Wonder Woman.
Oh my God, nothing. Oh.
Exactly. That's just the sound of you motorboating her.
Fuck yeah. So I found this article on Frank Thorne earlier today,
Mm-hmm.
and it had like some weird, interesting stuff, and it was written by this woman, Alyssa Chenier. I'm probably butchering her last name.
Should be all right.
Yeah, she'll live.
Yeah.
So it's like, what you call it? Frank Thorne, Red Sonja artist. 5 fast facts you need to know. Fact number 1: Frank Thorne and his wife Marilyn died only 6 hours apart, but information on how they died has not yet been released. That's kind of creepy to me, and not like, not criminal creepy, just creepy, because back on May 31st of 2012, my uncle passed away at like 11:30, quarter of 12, one of my dad's brothers, and then my mom passed away like 6 hours later.
Whoa.
So that's why that's creepy to me. Fact number 2: Red Sonja ran for 15 issues, and Thorne was the second illustrator for the comic books.
Who was the first?
I don't know if they say here. No, they don't say, because they're just, concentrating just on him solely, not so much on the Sonja books. Thorne began drawing Red Sonja with its 1976 Marvel feature number 2, according to CVR. CVR stands for Could Be Rumors.
It's kind of like getting your stuff from We Got This Covered.
Oh my God, yeah. Somebody else shared something, goes, we know this is a clickbait site, but if this is true, that would be cool. And I saved a meme that's, got Chris Evans as Captain America and just says, "Oh, isn't that cute? You shared a story from We Got This Covered." The character was created by Roy Thomas and Barry Windsor Smith for Marvel Comics' Conan the Barbarian series. Of course, we know this. Those characters were based partially on Robert E. Howard's characters, Red Sonja and Dark Agnes. Thorne became the illustrator for Red Sonja following, it does say, Dick Giordano, who drew the character in Marvel feature number 1. Thorne drew Red Sonja for most of the solo series at Marvel. It ran for a total of 15 issues from January 77 to May 79. Now, I wish I had read that last part, because now this is screaming out to me, dude, you could so put that whole set together. I'm like, well, yeah, as long as they're, reader copies, but, I could also just buy the trade that has all that stuff in it. And they also show 3 other Thorne books. One, of course, is Dynamite Presents Frank Thorne's Red Sonja art edition, which of course is probably published by IDW because they make all the oversized books. Then it's got Gita, the Sword of Eros. That's a little bit, harder, sexy time from Frank. And then apparently, I don't know whether this was a poster or a book, but I'd like a copy of it. Underneath the title, it says, by Frank Thorne, and it just says Moonshine McJugs with a buxom blonde with two like moonshine jugs in front of her. Here's a fun fact. Thorne found his niche in drawing beautiful warrior women, which he discussed on a podcast in 2019. So now I want to go back and, read that. It was like a 1-hour interview. And Thorne was considered a front runner of cosplay and was memorialized by artists and fans for his lasting legacy. Paul Levitz wrote, bidding farewell to Frank Thorne, an artist who progressively developed his style into a more and more personal expression. I had the pleasure of working with Frank in his later DC days when he did some magnificent work for the mystery titles and stepped into pencil for Jim Aparo on The Spectre. Matching his storytelling approach carefully to Jim's, but Frank had the best time of his career on Marvel's Red Sonja, of course, who he made both powerful and sexy. He was probably the first working mainstream artist to revel in cosplay, becoming the wizard who acted with Wendy Pini when she cosplayed Red Sonja at early Comic-Con shows.
See, that's awesome. My daughters do cosplay, and I get a lot of people's frustration with cosplayers because they're standing in front of your table at the con, and you're just like, man, look, I get it, you're hot or whatever, just get out from in front of my table, because if you do it right, or if you just kind of embrace it, you can, pick up some traffic at your table through them. But a lot of people just are assholes about it.
Yeah, well, you don't want the cosplayers that just hang out in like their little private clique, and they just like hang out like in the middle of the aisle, talking to each other about their cosplay builds.
Right.
And you don't want the ones that think they're superstars, because if they've been given, if a show was like short on guests, a lot of times they'll just hit up, a couple of the popular cosplayers, and they'll give them like a free table, like an out of a way spot. And once they get one table, they think they're superstars at like everyone.
Right.
And I'm like, there's like super popular cosplayers like all over the place, and they don't, I've talked to a bunch of them, and they don't get like, they don't get, swelled heads or anything, and
no,
they're pretty, for the most part, they're pretty cool people. So
one of the best people out there, we talked about her last time, is Kara Nicole.
Oh yeah.
I've heard it. And it's funny because I use cosplayer photos as references a lot, and she and I had the conversation about crediting cosplayers because if I knew who it was, I would usually credit them, but sometimes it's like, I don't know who it is, so I don't have time to really look it up. Of course, I get where that's a flawed mentality now, but she's been pretty cool about it, and she's like, hey, you should definitely try to make sure that you give them credit for what they did. And then we talked about me using her stuff as a reference. So one day I will be doing a Power Girl of her.
Nice.
Or her Dominoes.
Man, Rock Seller magazine has got like this big police giveaway.
Yeah.
With all of their albums like on remastered digital vinyl.
Oh wow.
Let's see. Subscribe for our website, blah, 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 a chance to win Every Move You Make, the studio recordings, a 6-album vinyl box set by the Police. Subscription is free, which is the only reason why I did it. But I'm like, it's got, it's got like, there's so, I can't read them all, but it's like, all their like various albums, like all remastered. I go, oh yeah, sign me up for that. All I had to do was see, a remastered vinyl of Synchronicity. I go, yep. I had like 2 copies of that album. I wore them both out.
There's nothing wrong with the Police.
Nope.
Oh, I think she's coming along all right.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You'll notice I am using my photo reference because I do that.
Yeah.
I don't know who the lingerie model is, but that's not important.
Yeah, this book's got like a nice like history forward of Sonja. And they make the paper look like old like scroll paper with like tears and stuff in it.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I used to have a Red Sonja one at one point. Although, that could have just been like, it was probably a reprint, but
Yeah.
it's got and then they show the cover of like one of the Red Sonja novelizations and Marvel Team Up 79, where she comes and teams up with Spider-Man. Like,
His Spidey pants for tingling.
yeah, no kidding.
I was at Book a Million the other day, and I almost picked up the Vampirella and Red Sonja meet Betty and Veronica trade.
Oh, that's supposed to be so good. And those books are getting hot. They were going for, like double cover price, which is like incredibly hot with an Andre comic.
Yeah.
I had reviewed the first miniseries of Archie Meets Batman 66,
Mm-hmm.
which the artist did a great job on. And he's like he's a regular, he's one of Archie's like mainstay artists. And, I've talked to him before and he's a nice guy, but I was supposed to interview him and he friended me, and then he started doing the blue check mark thing and nosing through my entire, all my social media for like the last 2 years or something. And noticed which way I leant, to the side of sanity. And, then he blocked me. And I'm like, oh, good.
It saves you some trouble.
He can join Dan Slott and on the blockage page. Dan blocked me because I was, I commented on like one of his threads and, told him how wrong he was and asked him, why does the new Fantastic Four series suck so much? And he looked at me and saw that I had liked a couple of Ethan Van Sciver's posts. So, you're a comic gator. I'm blocking you. I go, no, I'm just a guy that likes a good comic book story. I don't give a damn who made it. If you would make one, I'd read one of yours. But
Yeah. Why don't you try it and find out?
yeah. Yeah. So after the intro, basically the rest of this thick book is just all pinups like that. Oh man. And it's that thick.
Jeez.
Yeah. It was a $30 hardcover. But some years ago, my LCS, thank you, Randy, Lynn, and Ethan, they gifted this to me for my birthday one year, which was really nice because I had that and like two other big oversized art book hardcover things in there. One was the George Perez storytelling hardcover, and the other one was the art of Brian Boland.
Ooh. Ooh. Definitely one of my favorite versions of the Joker.
Oh yeah. On the side of my computer tower is still in a box because it's not going to come out until all this stuff gets organized and my computer and everything gets reset with like two tables making up like an L-shaped desk. I've got the Joker Marionette, which has got like the Dick Sprang head on it.
Oh yeah.
So
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's sweet. Let me see if I can. I'll Google an image because that's what we do here.
Yeah.
And bring it up so you can see it. Let's see. Yeah. There's one left on eBay. It's $400.
Jeez. I think I'm gonna have to ask Santa for that.
Dear Santa.
Yeah, and by ask Santa for that means I'm not going to be able to get it.
Not that one. Where is it? Oh, there's the Amazonian one there. Boink. There it is.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I kind of hate you right now because you got one of those.
Well, that's when, my rent was like under $600 a month. And prior to meeting my demonic ex that I was never married to, who is, once again ghosting me. And I'm like, you really don't want to do this. I think she secretly wants me to take her back to court so she can be like, and he doesn't help support her at all. And the judge will look at me and I'll be like, I'm on SSDI. So you can
exactly what do you want from me here?
Yeah, I go, you can order me, but unless it's like 25 or $30 a month, fine. I go, but she doesn't say anything about the 8 years that I had her and she didn't do a damn thing.
Well, that's irrelevant.
Yeah, I know it is. That's, I knew that was going to come up because the first thing out of her lawyer's mouth 3 years ago was, well, we're here in the present. The past really doesn't matter. I look at the lawyer, I go, oh, so you can avoid the whole thing about her abandoning her daughter for a year while she was too busy getting up her business that she later, threw away.
Mm. Yeah, I know. I know a little bit about what that's all about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fun.
Mm-hmm. I was blown away the other week. Was it last week? Yeah. We were all like, pushing for Rich Parada's Kickstarter, the Incantessi.
Mm-hmm.
And Rich worked as an inker for Marvel for like 10 years, and then he worked like DC for like three years or so, and he's a cancer survivor and everything, and he's married, living over in the UK, and does this book that a friend of his, it came out, an actress friend of his asked him to do a commission of her, but like as a superhero, and that's where this whole idea for this book came from. And then he just boom one day and just started doing stuff. Okay, is it okay if I do this? And because you kind of like own half of this and blah blah blah. And she's like, yeah, please. Well, he was going live and drawing like 2-3 times a day, at like odd times because he's over in the UK. So
Mm-hmm.
so every time I saw him on drawing, nights that my insomnia was kicking in or something, and he'd be on like, he'd just be, finishing breakfast and jumping on, at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And every time I saw him on, I would share his live stream over to, like Outright Geekery and to like a couple other groups and stuff, and tag people and everything, and tag art, comic book art, the Kickstarter, and then this and that. And there are a bunch of us that were like just helping out, and like pushing the project and everything. And he turned around and gifted all of us an original page of art from the book.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm like, holy shit, I've never owned a page of art from a comic before.
That is badass.
I'm like, when it comes in, I'm gonna have to like, run to the bathroom because I'm probably gonna like, nut in my pants or something. I don't want to get any on the art.
No, but that's good. You gotta look out for things like that.
Yeah. I go, but I'm over 50, so we're just gonna probably be like a couple of drips going down my leg or something.
Sure.
Okay, let's change the subject on that. I'm like, yeah. But it's cool because you're doing this tonight, and then tomorrow night, Thomas and I are actually doing a tribute to Frank Thorne by covering the first 2 issues of Red Sonja he did. So, as a matter of fact, I can grab that and take a look at it real quick because I've got it on a file. Boom, boom, boom. Where is it? Here's Thomas. Scrolling. There it is. So let's see.
Excuse me.
So we're doing Marvel Premiere number 2 and Marvel Feature number 7.
I'm gonna try to check that out tomorrow night. It's hard for me to actually check out anybody's stuff because, that single dad life. But,
Oh yeah.
that's why I'm late tonight. 'Cause, I spent last night when I should have been working on commissions. I was finishing up his project, the 7-year-old's project for school. He had to build a leprechaun trap.
Oh, that project. I'm familiar with having to build that project.
Yeah, that old chestnut, Always fun. So I got to go around town trying to find St. Patrick's Day stuff that I could use to help the kid make a leprechaun trap. And it turned out okay. He got 100 on it, so that's all that really matters. And I think at his grade, man, I think as long as you turn in something, they give you 100. So.
I'm glad I charged up my tablet because I thought he only had like 2 books picked out for us to read. He's got apparently 3 books picked out to read, and I'm only 5 pages into the first one. So,
Oh, you're gonna be busy.
Mm-hmm.
It could be worse. I mean, at least it's good books.
Oh yeah. Well, he picked out a bunch of favorite covers, so we can show up some of his nicer covers and stuff too. They were all nice, but It was weird. I went and looked. I had to download a couple episodes that I still have to upload to the podcast network, but I glanced up and saw that my 100th episode went almost 6.5 hours.
Jeez.
It's 6 hours and 16.5 minutes or something.
That's totally understandable because I mean that first one I did with you, we were on there for what, 4 hours? I don't even talk to my kids that long.
Well, they don't have a bunch of cool stuff like I do. But
You know what? And that's it. That was the selling point.
That's the key.
Yes, exactly. You know, if they had cool stuff, then we would talk more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kidding.
It's a joke, kids.
Yeah, it's a joke. We're still in the wheel, I promise.
Yeah, there's already some guy in here that's where's the hollows? You said it was a full set. The holograms were chase cards. They're not part of the full set. Those are holograms. Yeah. They're not regular cards. Well, it's not really a full set if you don't have the full set of holograms. I'm like, I'll tell you what. Yeah.
Trying to give us balls a tug.
Yeah. I've only been in this group a day. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm sorry. Did your mommy not love you when you were a little boy?
Late night sneaky uncle. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I've been binging Letterkenny lately.
Oh my God, that show's so good.
Oh my God, that is. And I started watching it because I kept hearing everybody talk about the guy, the main guy on the show, and how he should be Wolverine. I'm like, okay, let's see what this is about. I'm sold. You know, fine. Let's make him Wolverine. Because especially when you couple that with everyone else who has been a rumor to be in consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want Charlie Hunnam as Wolverine. I don't want it.
No.
The kid from Kingsman, that doesn't need to happen either.
Mm-mm.
It'd be kind of nice to actually have an actual Canadian Wolverine instead of an Australian, which is, for some reason, their default.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, why are there like, 32 Australians doing American accents or not in, our own movies, and, then we make then you make, or English people, or, British people from the UK or whatever, and you make a Robin Hood movie, you put Kevin Costner in it, and the first thing in his contract was, I'm not even going to attempt an English accent. I'm just going to talk. Oh, great. That'll work out perfect.
I mean, it worked out okay because, the movie made money.
Yeah, it made money because he was the draw for the ladies at the time.
Right.
I was drawn just because it was a Robin Hood movie. So,
did you see the latest one? The one with Taron Egerton and Jamie Foxx?
No. This is probably the time you should say, yeah, well, don't.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was trying to be nice. Yeah, I hadn't heard anything good about it. Hadn't heard anything bad. I don't think anybody really saw it because I think everybody just kind of saw the trailer and was like, yeah, no, we're gonna skip that.
What did they make? Did they make Jamie Foxx Robin Hood?
You would think. No, the Taron Egerton kid was Robin Hood, but Jamie Foxx, You know, he was kind of in the Morgan Freeman role from Prince of Thieves.
Oh,
But, you know.
so we're not going to do a remake, but we're just going to steal all the extra characters from this other script and use them again.
Right. I mean, you know, if you haven't read it, it's still news.
Mm-hmm.
And,
you know, so anybody under 20 hasn't seen the original because, you know, if it's not something brand new, it's like, yeah, that's old. I don't want to watch that. Well, the younger generation refuses to watch anything that's, you know, not a brand new release. How are all these older movies and you know, cartoons and stuff so offensive?
yeah. Kind of makes you wonder.
Mm-hmm. Well, this. Whoa, that was an echo. That'll probably cause a ruckus. I just responded to the guy with the hollows that just the cards, not the chase cards. I do have a few, and if it gets up there, and in parentheses, at least $100, I'll toss them in.
Yeah, he's going to shit us over that. But more power to him.
Yeah. And the guy's telling me, well, you have to tell him how much shipping is. I go, well, I don't know how much shipping is yet. He goes, well, give him a price. I go, okay, $14.95. I'm putting like 13, I think. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ha ha ha. A la peanut butter sandwiches. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I hate to lose that page. That's all the expensive covers. 19, 20. Well, I'm putting 21 sheets of cards into a separate binder, 3-ring binder, and mailing them off to whoever wins this thing.
Has shipping gotten any better for you lately? Has shipping gotten any better for you lately?
No, it's ridiculous. I like ate the shipping like the last auction, like from the live one I did, and so then I raised it for like the second one, and people just started bitching. Well, it only cost me this much last time. Why is it this much this time? I go, because shipping has drastically increased, and I basically ate close to half the shipping last time.
Yeah.
And one guy tried to defend himself, saying, well, you know, last time I paid $10.99 and it was only like $13.80. I go, oh, so I still threw in some, the balance of that. It still cost me like, $3 and change out of my pocket to you. And they don't take into the fact that, on top of the actual shipping costs, we have to buy shipping supplies and
boxes and bubble wrap.
Because if it's, larger size, if it's larger size stuff, then, you can't put it in like one of those, cheaper, like free boxes you can get from the post office. So, and they're not really free. You just pay for the shipping when you show up.
Yeah.
And they quickly got rid of that thing from a few years ago. Hey, if it fits, it ships. And like a million people just started shipping stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
Probably the people they didn't even like. They're like, yeah, we found a few dead rats out back. Let's put them in a plastic bag and ship them to Aunt Louisa.
Yeah, I was using those boxes for a while because I was doing prints on 11x14, and I always ship my prints flat. Put them in a sleeve with a backing board and ship them flat because who the hell wants to sit there and unroll a print? And I mean, come on. So especially ship originals flat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bought a few prints off of Clan McDonald Comics, and I was expecting them to come like, flat. But because I didn't request them in top loaders, they came rolled up in a tube.
Yeah, I mean, if I can't avoid it, I'll send them in a tube. But for the most part, I avoid it. Because I don't want to do that to people, and even though it's my prints are like $25. They're not crazy expensive, but I want people to see that, okay, well, at least he shipped it flat. He cares.
Mm-hmm.
But that all contributes to the cost of it, and I'm one of those guys, man. If I can, I've seen how the post office does your stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I can avoid that. Dude, I shipped somebody a family portrait one time. This poor guy, he gets this family portrait, him, his wife, his 2 kids. Everything's great. I shipped it on the, illustration board. He gets it, and that somebody has stabbed through his face in the portrait with a freaking screwdriver.
Oh, my God.
Oh, or ice pick or something. I mean, it was a big ass hole right through his face. And I mean, what do you do at that point? Do I redo the portrait? Well, shit, I'm I'm left going, okay, well, I'll help you out, and I'll do something else for you, or I'll do another picture for you or something. And he's like, just really wanted this to work out. You and me both, buddy. But but he was able to kind of make it, not necessarily fix it, but make it work. I guess he was able to fix it. He taped it from the back, and kind of all went back together. But I was thoroughly pissed, as was he.
Mm. I hate it when people tag me in like comic book auctions. I'm like, dude, you realize I really don't have any money. I go, the only books I usually buy are like, for the most part, are like cover price. And I don't think, I don't think I've bought anything over $20 in like, since the coma. So I'm like,
Yeah, I've got a couple people tagging me in toy auctions, and it's like, I'd like to, but it's not likely to happen right now.
Yeah, I gotta deal with the admins from that other group because one guy's like all bent out of shape. Well, I got two guys bent out of shape. One guy, his package got sniped by porch pirates because he should have had it Saturday and he still didn't have it. Either that or it's held up at his local post office in Florida. And another guy who got his package was all bent out of shape because the video that I started doing the second live sale, and it just kept cutting me off like every 90 seconds. It would just like shut my stream down.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the fact, I figured out, oh, that's right. Facebook, in all its wisdom, decided that Facebook Live should be basically just the mobile app. So Facebook Live does not like a regular PC tower. It does like cell phones and tablets. And so I shut it down, but I had shown on a video that's still up there that I've got this 3 3/4 inch King Loki figure from like the last Thor movie.
Mm-hmm.
But the card had like separated while it was in storage. So there's still like a half the card is like still behind the figure on the bubble, and the other half like separated backwards. So, and I show it on there, and I even said, in the original post that of course I've taken down since. Well, at least I took down the ones that I like boxed up and packed up to go. That way I could figure out, what ones I still had. And I put in parentheses, detached on the King Loki figure. And this guy like outbid another guy. And he bought like 3 figures for like $4 a pop.
Which is dramatically, that's less than they were at like fucking Walmart.
Yeah. So he bought like 2 Star Wars Power of the Force figures for like $4 a pop, and he bought the King Loki for $4. And I had a small box from Staples, like a really small box, so you couldn't lay them down inside the box because the box was that small. But the 3 carded figures could fit from corner to corner. So first he got bent out of shape because, there was no protection in there. And I told him, I go, well, I really don't think the action figures are going to be fucking.
I'm laughing a little bit more than I should at that, but
yeah. And this one is, the card's not, it's open. I go, no, it's actually not open because there's still a film of cardboard behind the bubble. But it is separated and or detached from the bubble. I go, and I said, I put, I wrote in the description that it was detached and it was in parentheses. No, it wasn't. I go, yeah, it was. And then that was it. And a week later is, so you're not going to do nothing about this? That's fine. I'll just talk to the admins. And I'm like, well, so, as far as I don't know whether he's talked to him or not, and because, nobody said anything to me yet. But I should probably contact Danny and just be like, yeah, dude, this guy, he spent like $12 on figures. I put all three of them corner to corner, and they fit perfectly. They were nice and snug. They didn't go anywhere, and blah blah blah. And
yeah, just get out in front of it.
I go, is it me or is it always the guy that spends the least amount of money that bitches the most about everything?
No, it is definitely not you.
It's true.
Definitely not just you, I promise.
I'm just like, man, it's just like, all the cheapest dancers at the clubs. Mm-hmm. They want everything. I'll hook you up. And then, I would immediately be fired by the owner when they tip me out at the end of the night. I'm like, hey, sweetheart, just so you know, $1 is not a hookup.
Nope.
Did you just ask her for more money? Yep. You're fired. Okay. Let me go get my stuff. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Let me go get my stuff. I'd go in. I'd delete about 300 songs off his hard drive and leave. 2 weeks later, somebody would be like, dude, did you ever play this song? I go, I don't know why. He goes, because I used to play it all the time. I can't find it. I don't know.
That's the damnedest thing I ever heard.
Can't say anything. He doesn't own any of them. He doesn't own any of the music that's on his hard drive now. I'm just like, I miss DJing though, because naked chicks give me some money at least, and
it is living the dream.
Yeah, it is living the dream. Didn't have to get up till dinner time, and grab a quick shower, a sandwich, out the door, and run inside, take over, work all night. Look at mostly hot girls and get paid.
Yeah. Hit the after hours bar after work.
Sometimes. Well, sometimes the bar I worked was the after hours bar. So
yeah. There was a couple of after hours places in Memphis that were pretty cool. There's one, and by pretty cool, I mean, not at all, but still, you could go there and you only felt like you only needed one tetanus shot. There's one called Prime Time. I love that place because, it's after hours and it's after, alcohol's not supposed to be served and stuff, but, somebody somehow just left a couple of bottles of Jack and vodka and stuff like that out for just general use.
Mm-hmm.
And, you just go up there and you buy whatever's set up and go make yourself a drink.
Yeah, he ended up buying a place that closed, but he bought like the whole building, and he's probably spent like a couple million in like remodeling and everything, and put in like a new kitchen and all kinds of stuff. And it was like a regular nightclub up to a certain time, late night nightclub. So from like 10 to 1 or 10 to 2, depending on the days. And then after that, they could be open till like, 6 a.m., but, not serve alcohol. But one of the managers is like, half Asian, half Irish. So he got a bunch of guys and he taught them how to cook some really good Chinese food. So people were like ranting and raving that, that club, from 3 to 6 had awesome Chinese food. So people would go in there just to, buy a plate of Chinese food for like $15 at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, Chinese food at 4 o'clock in the morning is just the best thing in the world anyway.
Mm-hmm. But there's never any Chinese restaurants open at 4 o'clock in the morning, though.
That's true. Yeah, you gotta plan ahead.
Mm. All right, so we're going to wrap this one up. So
yeah,
Sean's going to take his time doing this one. No more of those 4-hour streams just because we're talking about cool shit.
Can't do it. Can't do it. I was talking shit in the morning when I wake up. But Here we go. Here is Miss Sonja so far. Anybody wants to claim her, feel free.
You can contact Sean, and his info is on the banner down the bottom. So Instagram is at Shawn-Zilla Art, all one word. Or you can find ZeroDoc30, the studio of Sean Howe, on Facebook.
Yep, and that's me.
And you can contact him if you wanna claim this badass looking Red Sonja. And you can also contact him if you would like to pre-purchase a signed print of this when it's all done.
Absolutely. And also, it's March, so it's Joker month.
That's right.
25% off anything involving Joker. If it's a print I've got of the Joker, which I've got a few, I may have an original or two left of the Joker. Or if you want to commission something, as long as it involves the Joker, it could be Batman fighting the Joker, Harley and Joker, Squirrel Girl and Joker. I don't really even care. As long as Joker's in it, it's 25% off through the month of March.
And my jacket up in that little corner patch is not included. Something else to consider is brand new series that came out today. Joker #1 came out, and there's a whole bunch of blank sketch covers available. A few of them have like different colored backings, and they're like heavy cardstock, like cardboard backings. So there's like white ones, and there's like a light line, like a dark lime green kind of funky color, like olive green or something. So if you got those, you can contact Sean and mail him, buy the copy and mail him that blank Joker cover, and commission a Joker at that discounted rate for this month only.
This month only. So April 1st, don't be hitting me up asking about Joker commissions because, well, feel free to, but not expecting the discounted price.
Yeah,
So,
if you hit them up on April 1st for a Joker commission, you will be the official April Fool of the Shawn-Zilla Art Show.
ironic, isn't it?
Yes. So until next week, when he will be working on something, and
I'm probably going to finish this one before then. But we'll go from there.
yeah, do whatever next week, and if you finish this one off during the week, you can show it off during the show Wednesday. See if anybody is interested in the Sonjas.
Absolutely.
I'm sure she's going to be a very popular subject, for about a week or so, because Frank Thorne passing away the other day. And tomorrow night on OK Boomer, Thomas and I are going to be covering early Frank Thorne Red Sonjas and like the Marvel premieres and various magazines like that. Tomorrow night, talking about the books, going through them page by page and looking at some really cool stuff. So until next time, peace, love, and read some comic books, man.